It's nice to hear a story that sounds nice, and you find out that it actually happened in the past. Many historical events sound like the plot of a Netflix movie, and are even pretty interesting. This is what makes history fun, and this is one of those interesting stories. Welcome back to the Told You Another Story channel. In this video, we'll be looking at the story of the monster of the palace. Some people might wonder why this video's main character is being called a monster, and what she did to earn such a moniker. There is no shortcut to finding out that information, so you'll have to sit back and watch the video till the end to get your answer. This video's main character is Eugenia Martínez Vallejo, a young woman who never really deserved the nickname the Monster of the Palace. Eugenia was born in 1674 in the small village of Merindad de Montijo, Burgos, Spain, to her parents, Antonia de la Bodega and José Martínez Vallejo. Her parents were underprivileged, and her mother gave birth to her in a church after her water broke during Mass. As an infant, Eugenia had a regular appetite, and any weight she gained after her birth was thought to have been a fortunate thing, as both medical and aesthetic standards of her age at the time considered somewhat heavier frames on women to be desirable. By the time she was 1 year old, she had already reached a weight of 55 pounds. She started to gain notoriety for her large size and weight, which is now thought to be the result of Prader-Willi syndrome. For those who aren't aware, Prader-Willi syndrome is a genetic disorder resulting from a loss of function of specific genes on chromosome 15. In newborns, the noticeable symptoms include poor feeding, weak muscles, and slow development. As the child grows older and starts childhood, those affected end up always being hungry, which regularly leads to obesity and type 2 diabetes. Apart from that, this disorder also has mild to moderate intellectual impairment and behavioral problems. That affected individuals often have a short height, narrow forehead, small hands and feet, and light skin and hair. Most of the people who suffer from this disease are often unable to have children. Prader-Willi syndrome isn't curable, and treatment may improve outcomes, particularly if it is carried out early. In newborns, feeding difficulties can be supported using a feeding tube, and strict food supervision is naturally required, starting around the age of 3, in combination with an exercise program. Growth hormone therapy also improves outcomes, and counseling and medications may help with some behavioral problems. However, none of these options was available to a poor girl from a Spanish village in the 1670s. Heck, they probably didn't even know what her ailment was, and they just thought she was an obese girl who liked to eat a lot. By the time Eugenia was 6 years old, she had already weighed 155 pounds, and the news of her condition had reached as far as Madrid. At this time, she was summoned to Madrid to the court of Spanish regent Charles II in 1680. In 16th and 17th century Spain, people with physical and mental differences were seen as interesting oddities, and it didn't help that Eugenia's disability was very profound and attracted an unnecessary amount of attention to her. When Eugenia got to the court of the Spanish regent Charles II, she was displayed because of her physical disability as a curiosity or a freak. The dehumanizing term was frequently used to refer to people with any form of disability. As a matter of fact, it was a common practice for members of the upper class to take advantage of the physically and mentally disabled for their own amusement by displaying them as mere objects. One of the most popular examples of the dehumanizing act is the painting Las Meninas, painted by Diego Velázquez in 1656. The infamous painting features Maria Barbola, who suffered from achondroplastic dwarfism. However, this was not the only case of such an act. King Philip IV, who was the reigning king at the time, retained about 110 people who suffered from dwarfism at the royal court. He didn't do this out of the goodness of his heart or anything like that. He did this just to make fun of their physical disabilities for his own entertainment. When the Spanish regent Charles II saw Eugenia, he was very fascinated by her appearance. That he had his painter, Juan Carreno de Miranda, a noted Baroque portraitist, make 2 full-body portraits of her. His court painter, Juan Carreno de Miranda, was born on March 25, 1614, in Avilés, in Asturias, not far from where Eugenia was born. He was the son of a painter with the same name, and his family moved to Madrid when he was 9. During the late 1620s, he trained in Madrid as an apprentice to Pedro de las Cuevas and Bartolomé Roman, both famous Spanish painters. Diego Velázquez noticed him for his work in the cloister of Donna Maria de Aragon and in the Church of Our Lady in the Rosary. In 1658, Juan Carreno de Miranda was employed as an assistant on the Royal Commission to paint frescoes in the Alcazar of Madrid, which was later destroyed in the fire of 1734. Upon the death of Sebastian de Herrera in 1671, he was appointed court painter to the Queen and began to paint mostly portraits. He refused a knighthood in the Order of Santiago, stating painting needs no honors, it can give them to the whole world. Juan Carreno de Miranda painted several church frescoes and several portraits of the royal family, but his images of Eugenia painted when she was 6 and when he was 66, just 5 years before he died in 1671, still cause a stir. Charles II ordered him to make 2 full-body portraits of her, one clothed in formal dress and one nude. The paintings are titled The Monster Dressed and The Monster Nude, respectively. The nude portrait shows Eugenia posing unclothed and deprived of her humanity like a mythological creature, which often leads the painting to be dubbed Bacchus, who is the Roman god of wine, festivity, and insanity. In the clothed portrait, Eugenia wears a red and white outfit, which transforms her body into a misshapen form. Art historians often praise these portraits for presenting her with dignity. However, this couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, the portraits are very difficult to look at, and it is impossible to disagree with the darker reality which is so evidently at play. In the portraits, Eugenia appears highly sad and uncomfortable. In contemporary accounts of Eugenia's portrait, it is said that Charles II has ordered that she be attired decorously, in the style of the palace, in a sumptuous dress with red and white brocade and silver buttons. In the nude portrait, there are discreetly placed vine leaves and grapes in her hand and in her hair. They portray her as Bacchus, the god of wine. There was another description of her from 1680 which stated that her thighs were so very thick and fleshy that they ride upon the other and conceal from sight her private parts. Someone, probably Charles II, even thought it would be a good idea that she should hold an apple in her left hand. Its rosy color matches the ornate dress, but her awkward hold on it adds to an overall feeling of discomfort. Within the court of the Spanish regent, she fulfilled the functions of a jester, as her appearance served as a source of shock and entertainment. This situation was quite common for people with any form of physical disability during this period, and many monarchs held disabled and disfigured people in the ranks of their courts, often using them for entertainment. Despite Eugenia's presence in the court, there were no records of financial accommodation given to her, making it very likely that she was only brought in during certain events as entertainment. Eugenia Martínez Vallejo died in 1699. However, her paintings lived on. The Museo del Prado currently holds the 2 portraits by Juan Carreno de Miranda in Madrid. In 1827, the clothed portrait, also known as La Monstrua, or the Monster, in the royal collection was given to Museo del Prado, and the nude portrait joined it in 1939. Also, a sculpture by Amado González Hevia, also known as Favila, was commissioned for the city of Avilés in 1997. He made a bronze statue of Eugenia which stands on Calle Carreno Miranda and is popular with tourists. While many laws were made to restrict the exploitation of people with any form of disability, discrimination against obese people still exists and causes a lot of harm. The fact that no monarch today would commission such a painting of someone so unhappy proves that we've come a very long way. Thank you for watching this video. Hit us up in the comments section and give us a thumbs up if you liked the video. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos.